Hey, real quick, I'm making this video at the end of making the rest of the stuff that you're about to see, and I realized I should probably preface it with the reason why I'm doing this is because I have to keep all my car related stuff in my car because we live in a 1-bedroom apartment and I'm always in fear of breaking down and not having the right thing. So the goal was to keep all my car related stuff in my car, free up space in the apartment, and then still have a functional trunk for the car. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so here she is. This is how I normally keep it day to day. I'll empty it out and give you guys a better look at what's going on, but I just have that bungee there for now, so if I have stuff, it doesn't slide forward. But let me take it off so I can show you what's going on under here. Yeah, I got my toolbox, jumper pad, cables, tire inflator, my snow brushes, and then I got another bungee just running in the front for now, just to help stuff not slide out. Yeah, let me get some stuff out of the way so you can see it better. So there it is. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pillars going up from the ground, because I wanted to make this able to have me crawl around on top of it, no problemo. And I'm like 240 pounds right now and not a flinch, nothing. So I'm happy with how that turned out. But I left this middle piece removable just so it's easier to get stuff in and out from there. And let me flip around like this and I'll give you guys a little rundown. So when I first started it, the first thing I wanted to do was make these wooden, maybe washers you can call them. The original bolts for the car seats bolt through them, and then these wooden beams are screwed and glued to them. And I originally, so I have the 1, 2, 3, 4, and I originally had 2 more down here that I wanted to incorporate in somehow. The plan was to have those connect in somehow so it was nice and secure, but because of the angle and the length that I wanted this to be, it just wasn't going to work out like that. So these are just resting. I can't even lift it up because the weight of the thing, but these are just resting on top of the carpet. It's all attached back in there. Yeah, this is resting as well. So these beams are all 1.5 by 1.5 inches. The lid is 3/4 of an inch pine. I attached the hinge to the beam and then to another 3/4 inch pine board, because I was worried about screwing so close to the edge of this lid. I didn't want to crack the wood, so I just added an extra plate to make it a little thicker. Let me see what else I can show you. Sorry, it's an awkward angle. Better angle of the hinges going up and down. Then back to here. So I've got the 2 beams coming up, attached, glued and screwed, just 1 and 1. Same thing, glued and screwed. And I wanted to make it so I could unscrew everything if I needed to remove this in the future. And I have, it's pretty easy. I mean, you just unscrew the bolts. But just how it's sitting, position, just how it's sitting, I mean, it is not moving thanks to all this stuff. And then my biggest fear is trying to crawl around on top of this without this being here, because this helps provide a bunch of support in the middle. And I put carpet on this because this was the lowest part underneath. So there was a little gap here. See where this carpet is? But because that carpet's there, it's now the highest part, but because there's carpet, it can compress, so there's no rattling around while this thing's driving. It's totally quiet. You know what? I'm gonna turn the flash on under here. Give me a sec. But yeah, totally quiet. There's nothing on the underside of the lid. All these 3/4 inch support beams just connect the 1.5 beams to the 1.5 beams, and then the 3/4 inch thick lid sits on top of the whole frame. But yeah, I will see if I have any more schematics that I made along the way. You're gonna have to do a lot of trial and error if you want to do something like this. I don't know if this is the best way to do it. It cost me, all said and done, hardware included, carpet included, like 90, 100 bucks. So can you do better than this? Probably, but sorry, excuse me, Jesus Christ. I just wanted to do it as good as I could for the least amount of money, and I think I did a pretty decent job. Let me see if I have any blueprints and measurements to put in. So I've got a few sketches when I was trying to figure out how I wanted it done, and the way I was doing it kept changing because I kept running into problems or just figuring out a better way to do it. But this is the dimensions of all these 3/4 inch long beams that go on top of the 1.5 by 1.5 beam sticking up. So that beam, this long beam, and these two. The dimensions are right here. So we got 17.5, 18, 45 3/4 for this long boy, 8 1/4, 10.5. And the dimensions for the plates on the bottom, where the 1.5 by 1.5 beams attach to, they're not 3/4 inch thick. I'd bet good money that they're 1/2 inch. I can't get in there with the tape measure with the carpet. I'm gonna call these 1/2 inch because I needed it to be thin enough so the original bolts would be able to attach to the holes through the wood, because I didn't want to spend money on new bolts and everything. And the dimensions of these I do not have, but if you're planning on doing something similar, once you take the seats out and pull the carpet back, you're able to see spaces that are flat that connect the holes, and all it is just a flat piece of wood that allows both the holes to go through it and act as like a little wood washer. So the trunk lid is 2 feet by 46 inches, and at Menards at least they sell sheets of wood that are 48 by 24 inches. So the width was fine. I just chopped off a couple inches and it fits in fine. And with the carpet, it's just 2 foot by 2 foot carpet tiles. And since this is 46 inches, not 48 inches, this carpet tile, I had to cut 2 inches off again. And I thought about getting compound cement to lay it down. But I already had a staple gun and staples at home, and again, I'm trying to do this as cheap as possible. So I just put, it's easy to see in the light over here, a bunch of staples in the corners and up front where stuff's going to be sliding in a lot, and then just like a little bit along the edges and a little crisscross in the middle. And it turned out pretty freaking well, at least on this side. It is perfectly smooth. You can't really peel the carpet up. I'm not going to be using this like a work truck, so this isn't going to wear down too bad. On this side though, I'm like the carpet width too high. You see, it's just a bit too high over here. So I might pop this out when I got the time and shave off a little bit from underneath. Yeah, it was less than $5 for the carpet tiles. This I cut out with a hand saw and sanded down, and the reason why you see it's rounded there is because I drilled a bunch of holes along the perimeter, because I literally have like a $5 piece of shit handsaw. So I tried to speed up the process and sanded it down. It's nice and smooth. It does the job. But then I noticed, if you look here, not quite centered. But I thought about making it bigger, but I said fuck it. I like the size of it, so it doesn't bother me too much. And the reason why I have it like where I had that bungee in the beginning running across the front to stop stuff from sliding is because obviously I don't have a second storage platform here, which I wanted to do eventually, and that's why I also have left this totally open, because I don't know if I want to allow them to connect underneath. I don't know if I'm going to put just really thin plywood along here or just like a cargo net down in here. So I'm leaving it open for now, let myself have the option to make up my mind in the future. But yeah, other than that, I think that just about covers it. I wish I had the exact dimensions for everything. I really did try to keep everything, because I knew I was going to make a video on this in the future, but shit just kept changing. Like, I tried to keep, those are the angles. You see that top right one, 2 degrees over 3 degrees. So that meant that this beam back here, hold on, give me 1 second. This beam back in here, right here, is cut at 2 degrees at the top and 3 degrees at the bottom to allow it to be as straight as possible. So when there's a load on it, the load's going straight down, not like kind of at a wonky angle. And I really was planning on trying to get all the angles for everything. The majority were 3 degrees and 2 degrees, but then shit just kept changing. So the best way to do it, if you're doing something like this, is just use your level, mark at 90 degrees on the piece of wood, and then you'll be able to see the difference. And I just used what's it called, a miter saw, whatever, to do the angles, because I wanted all the beams to be at 90 degrees, and since the floor and these aren't at 90 degrees, they all had to have a little bit of an angle. But yeah, I think that's it. Please, if you have any questions, I read and respond to all comments, so just let me know. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.